Hello and welcome to lesson 22. I hope you're doing well. While this lesson may look short, it is packed, so it may take me a bit to go through it, but we'll get through it all together. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Lesson 22. What I see is a form of vengeance. Today's idea accurately describes the way anyone who holds attack thoughts in his mind must see the world. Having projected his anger onto the world, he sees vengeance about to strike at him. His own attack is thus perceived as self-defense. This becomes an increasingly vicious circle until he is willing to change how he sees. Otherwise, thoughts of attack and counterattack will preoccupy him and people his entire world. What peace of mind is possible to him then? So when I used to teach elementary school, I would come across an argument, or perhaps I would see a child hit another child, and that child would inevitably always say, well, he hit me first. And it's like, okay, sure, but you also hit him. And so you're both guilty because you both struck. And he says, well, it was just self-defense. And this is a tricky place because, I see how some people feel like, well, I must defend myself. But really, we don't need to, and that's what we learned through the course, is that there is no need for self-defense because we are all one and we are all connected. And as you start to see the other person as your true brother and see them with love and learn from your higher source how to react from a place of love, oftentimes it dissipates whatever is happening. It can help make that anger from that other person go away. And then there's no need to strike. So let's look at this closely. The first sentence, anyone who holds attack thoughts. So attack thoughts are simply what it says. They're thoughts in your mind that are attacking another person or another cultural group or country, ethnicity, you name it. A group of people who are all of the same gender or all of the same sexual orientation. When you have attack thoughts, which are any thoughts of unforgiveness, any thoughts of judgment, those types of thoughts, the anger, the fear, that's attack thoughts. And when you're sending those attack thoughts out, you're bringing them back to you as well. And so once we can really change our thoughts and start thinking thoughts of love, thoughts of forgiveness, letting go of judgment, when we really get to that place, then we're only sending out thoughts of love, and then love is coming back to us. The second sentence is really strong. Having projected his anger onto the world, he sees vengeance about to strike. He, remember, is all people. No one is he or she. We are all he, just for the simplicity of the text. So seeing vengeance about to strike, it's because if you're constantly thinking thoughts of anger, frustration, then that's what you perceive in the world around you. But when you can change your thoughts and start to perceive love and perceive kindness, that starts to be all that you see around you. And you see the goodness in others. And I love sentence 4. This becomes an increasingly vicious circle until he is willing to change how he sees. That's how it all comes back to. It all comes back to changing how you see. How do you change how you see? You change your perception. You change your thoughts. You start thinking differently. Choosing to think differently. We have power over what we think. We do not have to think the way someone tells us to. You do not have to listen to what the news says or the media says or a religious leader says. If you feel within yourself that you disagree, find the truth within you and let yourself be your guide. And I'm telling you, if you really connect with that higher self and you find that higher self internal teacher within, it is only going to direct you to a better place and a place of good and a place of wholesomeness, and not wholesomeness necessarily in the, kumbaya sense, but just whole being, a whole person, a whole, like connecting with the whole community. It's a really beautiful thing. And it seems so simple, but also difficult. And it is, it is simple to change your thoughts, but it does take discipline. And that's the beauty of these lessons, is they lay it all out for you. And if you follow them one by one, you really will find yourself changing and growing and becoming a better version of you, which you'll find out was always there within you anyway. It's just from years and years of listening to other people or getting things told to you that changed the way you perceived the world. What you'll realize is you're connecting with who you always have been and really letting that person out without fear. When you let go of that fear, you can be yourself completely, dropping social anxiety, dropping that depression that keeps you inside and you're stuck in your room and you don't feel safe going out. Those things can go away as we change our thoughts. And it is by far, in my opinion, the most powerful thing that you can do for yourself and thus for everyone around you. It's a beautiful thing when you meet somebody who really is completely genuine, completely authentic, and you can feel it. You can feel the energy. I know you've met someone like that before. I know you've been in that place before. I know I have. There have been times where I've had glimpses of this and it feels incredible. It's euphoric. You feel like you're walking on air. And that is something that you can feel more and more each day if you just keep paying attention to your thoughts, working these lessons, or another meditation that works for you. Meditation is as crucial as water. It really is. You need it every day, even if it's just for a moment. Okay, and so remember that the whole point of the course and doing the course is to find peace of mind, to find that place where you are in your Zen place. And it says at the end of that first paragraph, what peace of mind is possible to him then when you're preoccupied with attack thoughts and counterattack thoughts? You can't be in a place of peace of mind. You can't be in a place of peace if you are harboring attack. Remember, attack can be as simple as fear, because when you're fear-based, you're thinking, how can I protect myself? You don't need to protect yourself. And I know that sounds crazy, and you might have a lot of resistance to that idea. But as you work through this and you really, truly find that forgiveness, non-judgment, peace of mind, joy, happiness, and love, when you get to that place, it's like that's all that you're surrounded with. It's incredible. It's as if people who harbor ill will don't even see you. You're like not even on their wavelength. It's very strange. But it's kind of like that whole thing where people who have bad things happening to them, that whole when it rains it pours thing, it's like, yeah, because they're focused on that negative thing and it just attracts more negative things and it just seems to just snowball. That's happened to me plenty of times. So I personally don't want it to happen anymore, and if I have any control over it, I'm going to do what I can to prevent it. So again, doing your meditation. Okay, not to beat that to a pulp, but I guess I kind of will. Let's move on to paragraph 2. It is from this savage fantasy that you want to escape. Is it not joyous news to hear that it is not real? Is it not a happy discovery to find that you can escape? You made what you would destroy, everything that you hate and would attack and kill. All that you fear does not exist. This is really heavy. It's really deep, and there's probably a lot of resistance within you. If there's not, that's great. You're in a very, very good spot. The last sentence, all that you fear does not exist. I know that sounds crazy, and I know there's probably many people feeling, what? It's definitely there. I can see it. But how often, it goes back to that whole thing, that how often are you worried or fearful of something that never even happens? It doesn't come to fruition, and it's fine. And you might say, okay, well, I was thinking about it, so why didn't it happen? Well, I don't know. I can't tell you exactly, but it happens to me often where I'm totally stressed out and racing to get somewhere because I'm worried that I'm late, and then I get there and inevitably they're running late too, or there's some sort of hiccup that causes the whatever I'm going to start late. And then it's all good and it's all fine. And I had no reason to worry or stress, and I could have enjoyed that drive in a peaceful way, listening to music. And instead, I'm just like white-knuckled driving the car. Sorry if I've used that analogy before. But those fears don't exist. And that'll become more obvious as you go through the material. Let's keep going. Look at the world about you at least 5 times today, for at least a minute each time. As your eyes move slowly from one object to another, from one body to another, say to yourself, I see only the perishable. I see nothing that will last. What I see is not real. What I see is a form of vengeance. At the end of each practice period, ask yourself, is this the world I really want to see? The answer is surely obvious. So if you really think about it, everything in this world is perishable. Everything breaks and gets old and needs a new paint job, or the concrete needs to be broken up and relaid, and beautiful majestic trees eventually die, fall down, and are eaten by fungi. So everything is perishable, everything is ephemeral, everything is going to be gone. Now, at this point in my learning, I look at this and I think, okay, well, I want to be living in a place of appreciation and gratitude, and just appreciate that which is around me, and recognize that it is not going to be there forever, that everything that I see in the state that it's in is only like this right now. Think about that. The people you're with, each moment you're with them, that is the only moment that you're going to have exactly those people and exactly that situation with exactly those surroundings. You might say, well, I hang out with the same people every day at the same house, and we do the same thing. Okay, but really it's not the exact same. Nothing is the exact same. And so instead of clinging to it, we can just appreciate it, be very present, and just relish every moment we have. Every moment with those puppy dogs and critters that we love so much. Every moment with our family. We're all growing older and we're all changing. I love and miss the time when we were all a family in the same house and little kids. But at the same time, I also am really appreciative to be adults and have an adult relationship with my parents and my sister, and it's all changing, and it's constantly changing. And that's a beautiful thing, or it can be if you let it. People who hang on to the past have a really hard time in the present. So, I don't know about you, but I want to be happy now and not looking back or looking forward. So, what I see is a form of vengeance. I'm looking up the word vengeance on my phone because I just feel like it's important to really understand the words that are used, because I know that each word is purposely said. It has exactness with it. And so I think it's really important that we pay attention to those words. And even, I've said before, even if you think you know what a word means, it's just so helpful to look it up. So vengeance. Punishment inflicted or retribution exacted for an injury or wrong. Okay. Punishment inflicted or retribution exacted for an injury or wrong. So vengeance is something that comes from a response to something. Okay, so when you feel like you've been injured or you've been wronged, then you are responding to that. And so to recognize that you haven't been injured, you haven't been wronged, and there's no need to fight back. That's powerful. And guys, I've been the victim of some really heinous things myself. And through this work, I've been able to find forgiveness for those people, and then forgiveness for myself, and to recognize that those people were coming from a place that I didn't understand, and I may never fully understand in this lifetime. But I can choose love, and I can choose to respond with love. And so that's my challenge to myself in everything that I'm faced with, no matter what it is how can I respond with love? What is the most loving way to respond to this situation? And it is beautiful, and it is fulfilling, and it fills you with joy. So think about how what I see is a form of vengeance, and how you can change that. You can change that through the way that you think. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you'll be back tomorrow for lesson 23. Take care of yourself, love yourself, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.